Good morning, friends. And today is Wednesday, a very bright morning here in India. It's not too hot to not too cold. It's onset of monsoon season in India. And as you know, every Wednesday we meet and discuss about the management lessons, small tricks and tips that we can give you based on the language that we speak. And today we would like to talk about the powerful words starting with O and the true meaning behind these powerful words which are used in day-to-day language and their impact on our business and our personality. So let's start. Welcome back, friends. And today, the first word on our list is objective. Well, objective is a very simple word we use every day, maybe 5 times in a day. But as a leader, as a CEO, you must have an objective for everything that you take up. So you have to ask yourself, what is the objective of doing a particular step? And when you are giving some work to your teammate and your juniors, you must ask yourself before you assign that work to your teammate, what is the objective, what is the outcome. So although it's a very simple word, but the true meaning behind objective is understanding the objectivity, what is the meaning of that particular activity which you're doing. And don't do things which others are doing, because those objectives basically are for other people, not for you. For you, the objectives for running your team, running your business may be entirely different. That is why people say that you have to think before you take a step. Taking one step, you may have to think 3 times, and that is what will give you more clarity and also give you objectivity. The next word is organized. Again, very powerful word. And if you are a good professional, you will be organized. I'm saying that many people are organized and many people are very disciplined. Another very powerful word, discipline. But being organized is, it's like thinking like a chess player. When you have an objective in mind and you have laid down plans to create the success around that objectiveness that you have already thought through, you need to organize your ideas, you need to organize your mind in such a way that you actually succeed in becoming true to your objective. So you cannot create an idea and execute that in unorganized manner. That means, when if there are 10 steps involved in executing that idea, or basically accomplishing the goal, you need to organize these 10 steps in such a way that seamlessly all these steps are taken care one after the other. And there could be instances where these steps may be overlapping, so you should have some sort of a mind map or sort of a plan or a project plan. And that is what the organized nature is all about. Well, organization starts in your mind. You cannot read about it, you have to practice it. So that is the biggest thing when you are understanding the organized. The true meaning behind organized is basically start practicing in your day-to-day life. For example, you get up on time, you do things on time, you reach office on time, then you have plan for everything. Even for coffee, you have 10 minutes, 15 minutes allocated. And when you are working on a in your office, you are working very, very methodically and things like that. So being organized is basically 50% of your mantra for success. Next word on our list is optimistic. Well, you have to be optimistic as a leader, because you can't be pessimistic. If you're pessimistic, it will bring your personality down, and it will also bring the personality of the team, morale of the team down. So you have to look optimistic, you have to think optimistic. Well, I'm not saying that you have to leave everything on the luck. The luck or the optimism plays up to 20 to 30% of the task. The 70 or 80% is your planning, your objectivity, your organized nature, your your schedule, and ability to think through all the ifs and buts for that particular program. But having decided all that, and when you're deciding all that, you're running through your checklist several times before you actually start taking the first steps. So you should be confident that you have thought through each and every step of your planning, and you have to be very optimistic when you actually start executing. And if you are not optimistic, and you are thinking negative, then it will bring some pacifism in your team, in your company. So as a leader, as a CEO, you have to always think optimistically. That means you have, before you become optimistic, you have to basically do your homework. That means you plan through your activity, even a small activity that you are thinking of starting, you must plan through. That will give you confidence, and that confidence will give you optimism. So think about it, friends. What do you think? You can send in your comments, and your comments will especially flash on the screen right now, and I can talk to you using the chat function of the social media. The next word is open-hearted. Open-hearted is the biggest virtue for a leader, for a CEO. You have to give. When you say open-hearted, you have to give responsibility, you have to give rewards, you have to give opportunities, and that is what the leadership is all about. And if you want to take it all the time, take it, keep it on accumulated under your name, that is not the leadership. You have to always give. And if you have the habit of giving, that means you have an open heart, not to hold back things in your heart, give it to others. That will basically create an ecosystem around your company, around your team, which will basically follow you through. And your leaders within your team, in your pyramid, will then treat the other people, other junior people, with the same vigor and same open-heartedness as you have created in the organization. So as a leader, as a CEO, you have to inculcate the habit of giving. Now, when I'm talking about giving, it doesn't mean that you have to always keep giving the remuneration. Open-hearted cut across all areas, giving opportunities, trusting your people, sharing the success, sharing the failure. So you have to be open-hearted about everything in your team, and that will make your team and your company very successful. So think about it, friends. It is a very powerful. True meaning of open-hearted is not only giving some charity. It is cutting across all responsibility in a team, in a company. So are you going to be open-hearted from today? If not, tell me in the comment section why not. And then it happens sometimes that some of your team members may have some issues. They are finding it difficult to come up to the standards. They are finding it difficult to perform. Even a performing asset in your team may not be able to perform because of whatever reasons in his personal life, or if his health is not with him, and so on. So the powerful word here is outreach. You have to be open-hearted enough to make an outreach to a less performing team member of your company or your team. So outreach is very, very important. And if you're not reaching out to your team member in with your help, then the question of building the trust is taking a backseat. Now, outreach can be practiced within friend circle itself. If there are two friends and one friend is having a totally unrelated problem, the other friend who is not even associated with his work can outreach to him and try to help him. So outreach is a very powerful word. Even within a family, the parents and children outreach to each other depending on the situation. So same thing you have to practice when you start your team, start your company, and inculcate the habit of reaching out to your team member. Now there are various tools to do that. One is you pick up the phone and talk to them, or you can set up a weekly calls with everyone one on one, or you can have a morning day start stand-up meeting. So there could be several outreach mechanism that as a CEO you can follow. However, method could be anything. The objective of you being a leader, you must have a habit of reaching out to your team member, and if you're not doing that, then you will not know what anger or what anguish is being accumulated. There is no vent for it. So you as a leader have a responsibility to make sure your team is always vented out bad things and fused in positivity so that they perform with the optimum performance level. Then another very important word is called opportunity. I'll tell you exactly why it is so important for a leader and a CEO. You see, what happens is you don't become leader overnight. You you need experience to basically become a CEO or a leader in a group. Now that experience will come with actual working. You should have some sort of work experience in order to having gone through various conditions and various situations and coming out with solutions based on the situation, and that wisdom you must have. Now why that is important and how that is related to opportunity, I will explain. You see, what happens is when you read a news article, that gives a lot of inputs to you. Of several types of inputs are given when you read something, or you talk to somebody, or you watch a TV. There are several inputs and several vectors are being generated in your mind. Now which one to basically follow and which one not to follow is something that will come from purely wisdom. And wisdom is something which is not you're not born with. Wisdom is basically a developed skill which you go through in your day-to-day life and collect the knowledge about various situations. And that is why as a CEO you must have um, a very good nose to sniff opportunities. And when I say sniff opportunities, is that means that there are various inputs coming to you because you're living in this world. There are various inputs happening. Which one to take and which one to discard is your ability to identify the opportunity. And if you do not identify the right opportunity, you will be spending your energy in the wrong place. That will not go anywhere. So that is why all of these things are very important, because creating a schedule, having optimism, objectivity, all that will help you to create an opportunity. So if you're doing your back end work properly, that will help you to sniff opportunities appropriately and not waste your time on other things which are non-productive. So that is why opportunity is a very powerful word which we use in every day, maybe 20 times a day, and we do not think too much about it. But think about it, friends. You should have ability to sniff the right opportunity which can propel you in the upward trajectory. Talking about the upward trajectory is onwards. So a leader always lead from the front. A leader is always in the forefront. A leader is not sitting in the room and asking their team to go in the forefront. For example, I will say that some CEOs don't want to talk to customers because they feel that talking to customer is not my responsibility because I'm the CEO, and for talking to the customer I have my sales guys. I've hired a vice president or a president sales. It is his responsibility to talk to the client. No, it is your responsibility because you're not leaving anything on your by chance, and you're leading the team by getting yourself in the forefront. You're talking to the media, you're talking to the client, you're basically a public figure. So once you reach certain level, uh, when you bring about your company and bring it to certain level, you have to start thinking about these things, how you can push your company forward. And the whole objective or the difference between a CEO or a manager is simply that you are able to now push your pull your company, not push, pull your company forward, and you are trying to help your company by closing your deals, your orders quicker and faster. and more lucrative. And that is what the leading from the front is all about. I mean, if you look at the defense services, that a captain is always in the forefront. And if the captain is not in the forefront, the platoon will not follow him. It cannot happen that captain sit in the back and say, charge, and the platoon will charge and die. That is not the case. That is why you have to lead your team from the forefront. That will take your journey onwards towards success. That's why onward is a very powerful, very, very powerful word. And every leader must not become a spreadsheet warrior, but they should get into the field. Everyone, even though you are a CEO, you have to be out there with your team and closing deals. And that is why onward is very, very important, very powerful word. And then for every success, you must have a habit of celebration. You must have a habit of celebrating each and every success. Even though there is no success, you must discuss about it, and you must say that these are the things that you did right, and these are the things you did wrong, and you must do it within the team, so that the new ideas keep coming back to you, and the individual team members start thinking, getting associated with your team in such a way that they feel a part of the team. And that is why, in case of a success, obviously ovation, we have to give the standing ovation to the people who help you do that. And in case of a failure, you have to still enjoy, because you must have done something right, but success is beyond you. I mean, the decision to succeed is something which is dependent on the external party. So you still need to celebrate, and you need to basically take the lessons for the next time, so that you win next time. You see, what happens is that the winner of today is basically the failure of yesterday. So every failure will give you more input, more wisdom, and that is why you have to celebrate everything in whatever happens in your team, in your company. That is why ovation, again, a very powerful word, and you must inculcate the habit of celebrating everything. And that brings us to the last subject, which is Omni. Now, Omni again is a very powerful word, which is, if you do all these things, and if you follow my programs, we are right now on O. We started with A, and if you're able to do all of these things which I am trying to tell you, then you will become an omnipotent leader, a bulletproof manager, a bulletproof CEO. Nothing can touch you, because you have the habit of doing the right thing, and you always have a red line defined. You will not do anything wrong, and because of that, you will become a righteous person who will know the solution to most of the problems. Even if you do not know, you know who to approach to find the solution. And that is why these good habits will make you a omnipotent, bulletproof manager. And that is why you must try and become an omnipotent person, a very powerful, the most powerful mentally, a person who knows how to run his company, and who knows how to run his team. So, friends, today's session, we have come to an end. Some of the things that we learned today are very powerful. If you have a suggestion, do write in. Use the chat function in the social media, because we come live every Wednesday with these small tidbits on management. Otherwise, also, if you're not able to join live, you can send in your chat messages, and I will respond to you. So, as always, thanks for watching, and I will meet you in the next one, my friends.